Alright everybody, this last weekend was a ton of fun. We got a lot of first looks, reveals, and as DC fans and comic book hero fans, a lot to look forward to for the future of this franchise. A lot of different information was given to us, but we want to talk today about what was arguably the most exciting reveal, and that was the Batman trailer from director Matt Reeves. Now, arguably, the majority of people have very much enjoyed and are now receiving Robert Pattinson as Batman based off of what we saw in this trailer. Now, keep in mind, this was only about 25% of the movie since that's all they've been able to shoot due to COVID, but that didn't stop Matt Reeves from bringing us at the edge of our seats and begging for more. So, as a general Batman fan, DC fan, comic book superhero fan, odds are you were very excited watching this trailer. But what we're going to do in this video is break it down piece by piece and cover some of those hidden details you probably missed. Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to Cosmic Culture. It's Chris, and if you love to stay up to date on all major movie and television news, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. We're covering it here on the channel, and comment down below what you honestly thought about the trailer. Would love to chat with you guys throughout the video. So, for starters, before we got this trailer, we were dazzled with about 20 to 25 minutes of Matt Reeves talking about and showing off a little bit his Batman knowledge. And my personal standpoint is we will not find many people on the planet who are more prepared to film a Batman movie than Matt Reeves. He talks about Batman like it's his religion, and it was extremely exciting watching him detail everything that he had planned moving forward, or at least as much as he would tell us. Moving into the trailer, however, we start with a bone-chilling opening scene where we see an overkilled individual who is speculated and believed to be Mayor Don Mitchell Jr., and we get a look at our Riddler. Now, he was killed, and we see through a different scene the word written in red paint "lies" on a lot of different headline opening pages for newspapers, which demonstrate a little bit of the mayor's accomplishments, including one center stage right under the E where it says Don's done it again, and then we can see Mayor Mitchell Jr. wins historic third term. And it is highly speculated based off of a lot of the things that Matt Reeves has talked about himself regarding the importance of Gotham City, that the corruption in Gotham City will be the center hold of all of the issues going on. Now, this is no secret or surprise to Batman, as everything Batman stands to do is to stand up to the corruption of the city and make up for what isn't being done by the political side, the cops, the police, and the government. So it's not a new story plot, but it is definitely something that is going to be very focused on. And we can see here, starting in the very beginning, the death of a mayor and the words "lies" on all of his accomplishments and headliners is definitely a direction that the Riddler wants us to see. But there is a lot more that the Riddler wants us to see, as he has also a hidden message for the Batman, who makes his first appearance in this scene following behind none other than Jim Gordon. So, heroic first entrance for Batman on scene of the crime, one of the world's best detectives, here we go, and he has an early riddle to solve. Now, in a green envelope highlighting the Riddler's signature color, we see a very creepy festive Halloween type card that says, "From your secret friend, who?" with an owl on the top. Now, this in itself could be a little bit of an Easter egg towards the Court of Owls, who is a group of people who haven't gotten a whole lot of screen time in the entire involvement of Batman and in his history on the big screen. But it is almost seeming, and has been hinted a few different times in a few different ways, that the Court of Owls will have a large place to play in the corruption of Gotham, as they always have, but we will also get a lot more information about Thomas and Martha Wayne's involvement in the Court of Owls. Now, for now, that's just speculation, but it is definitely something that would be extremely exciting to see. Now, in the inside of Bruce Wayne's secret card, we get to see a riddle, of course, and naturally from the Riddler, which says, "What does a liar say when he's dead? Haven't a clue? Let's play a game, just me and you." And then there are this kind of hieroglyphic looking coding, which of course Batman is going to have to answer. Now, a lot of you out there are very smart, and a lot of individuals believe they have already cracked the riddle from the Riddler from this teaser trailer, and they believe the answer to be, he lies still. So, a little bit of a play on words, that even after you're dead, you continue to lie. Your legacy lives on. And that is what is believed to be by you guys, the fans, the answer to this riddle. I do not speak whatever that language is, so I cannot confirm that, but it does make a lot of sense. One of the next little hidden details of this trailer was actually the Batcave, or at least what appears to be where the Batcave is starting out. And if you look very closely in this image, on the top of the archway, you can see Wayne Terminal. Now, initially, a lot of people quickly noted it looks like a little train station or some type of tracks, and you were correct. This is Wayne Terminal, according to what it says, at least on top of these arches here. We get a good look at the second attack from the Riddler, at least that we've seen in the trailer, that appears to be happening at Mayor Mitchell's funeral, and Batman saves a little boy. Now, anytime Batman is involved with a little boy, the first thing everybody wants to talk about is it's Robin, and of course, we would love to see another great Robin on the big screen, but I don't know if we can jump to that conclusion just yet. But as always, it is fun to at least mention Robin's name and hope that one day he will appear. The man driving the vehicle and potentially looking startled to a sense that he was forced to do it and didn't do it by his choice has a phone taped to his hand, which is potentially where we heard the voice of the Riddler later on in this trailer. But without a doubt, it was probably the Riddler on the other end of the phone with another fresh riddle for the Batman. And of course, on his chest is taped another letter. We then get a first look at Zoe Kravitz's character, who is not officially Selina Kyle or Catwoman, but, I mean, come on. Are we going to assume that's anything other than Catwoman? We then get our first look of two at this next mystery character, who everybody is saying is going to be this Batman's Oswald Cobblepot or the Penguin. Now, we're believing that that character is going to be played by Colin Farrell, and this doesn't look a whole lot like the very stone-cold attractive man that we all know. But that's a lot of prosthetics and a very good-looking potential Penguin. Not something you want to look at, but neither was Penguin ever in any rendition he's ever played. So it's exciting to get a good look at that. We can definitely see his nose has been changed, and a lot has happened here to make him look this way. Now, this isn't officially the Penguin, but I think if anybody had to guess or put money on it, this would be the move. We then hear a message from the Riddler, presumably to the Batman, saying, "If you are justice, please do not lie." Followed by, "What is the price for your blind eye?" Now, if this is directed at Batman, the question that he is asking here most likely is, you're going around at night fighting all of these bad guys, criminals, you're being a vigilante, you're putting the law in your own hands, but what are you doing about the corruption? And what's your price? Now, presumably the Riddler doesn't know who Batman is at this point, and we don't know if he ever finds out or if he knows the whole way through. But the question is being asked, who are you in the grand scheme of things? Another back look at the depth and complication of what is Batman in its entirety, and not just in this movie, is that conflict of justice versus corruption in Gotham City. A Batman movie is only as good as its Gotham City, as the corruption involved, as the police, and the politics that are going to play a huge part in this movie. So it is a very interesting question coming from the Riddler, and like with a lot of Batman's villains, what has driven Riddler to his insanity is the corruption in Gotham City. How the rich get richer and the poor are left to live alone in the streets, fending for themselves and subject to just as much crime as anyone out there. And in the very next scene, we get these face-painted skull people who a lot of people immediately thought were Joker's goons, but I hope not quite just yet. Now, there might be Easter eggs and hints towards them, but I don't think that these characters are going to be a direct connection to the Joker in this movie. Regardless, they come and they ask Batman what he's supposed to be, and we see a very ruthless and intimidating Batman go to town on one of their faces.
Who's supposed to be?
And then a little bit more after that. And he follows with a iconic line. Well, that's what we wanted anyway. Everybody in the world at the time watching this wanted him to look up and say, "I'm Batman." But he didn't. In fact, he said, "I'm vengeance."
I'm vengeance.
But don't be upset, because that is actually a line that Batman has used before, and the entirety of the line goes like this: "I am vengeance, I am the night, I am Batman." So it is possible we just haven't seen that part of the scene just yet. And even if we didn't, there's little chance he isn't going to say I'm Batman at some point in the movie, so we can add that to the compilation. And I Am Vengeance was a really cool response after completely taking that dude down. And this was a scene that I think converted a lot of people to believe and start seeing Robert Pattinson as the Batman. His Batman voice is insane. His moves are really, really cool. We're definitely going to be able to see a lot of martial arts from this Batman, which in the comics, he is known for his insane martial arts, so that'll be really cool to see. All in all, this scene, this little 4, 5, 6 second scene, was an amazing addition to the trailer. We got to see a raw and ruthless Batman. Keep in mind, this is his first and second year of being Batman. He's new to this and he's still figuring it out and potentially getting his rules all together. So we're going to have some really, really cool scenes of this raw emotion Batman who is in this middle of this huge corruption scandal and probably confused and trying to figure it out himself. I could see why that would be frustrating, and you just gotta do this to some dude. We get another look at Colin Farrell's Penguin, and that's again what we're guessing and going with, and I'm going to double down on that. I'm going to stick with that's probably Penguin. And then in the very final scene of the trailer, we hear, again, presumably the Riddler, "You're a part of this too," to which he asks, "How am I a part of this?" Answered by, "You'll see." And that could very well be a reference to Thomas and Martha Wayne's involvement in the corruption. They are, without a doubt, the most powerful family in Gotham. So, without a doubt, there is going to be some involvement there and definitely going to have some type of relevance in the future of what is happening in this scandaled city, in this city filled with corruption. And again, that is circumstantial on whether or not the Riddler knows it's Bruce Wayne or not. But regardless, that is going to be something that plays heavily in this version of Batman. Continuing on with that, we also see Batman in the final scene with his head down, and we do see that face paint on him where his cowl would be. So we get to see that, as well as, again, this is a first few years of him being Batman. So he's figuring it out. He's trying to understand how he fits in this society as a vigilante. And he's trying to figure out the best way to go about being Batman. So there'll be a lot for him to solve on his own and figure out about what his identity as Batman is. And then on top of that, the Riddler running around, not making things less confusing. So a very, very exciting trailer. Like I said in the beginning of this video, this is a trailer that turned the world who wasn't sure about Robert Pattinson playing Batman on its head. And now there are a lot of people screaming and yelling and chanting for more of Pattinson. And personally, I think he has done a fantastic job up to this point. Again, huge Batman fan right here, so I want to be excited, I want it to be really good, but at the same time, I have a good amount of people behind me who also agree that this was pretty incredible. So excited to see where this goes. This is the first of the trilogy, the first we're seeing of Matt Reeves' Batman and his mastermind behind it. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what else you guys saw, because I'm sure there are a lot of other Easter eggs and hidden features in this little trailer. There are going to be a lot of tiny details behind the work that Matt Reeves is doing. He knows his Batman stuff. So keep an eye out for it and let me know what you guys think. And also let me know what you guys thought about what I saw and what I put together from the trailer. Guys, thank you so much to everybody who watched until the very end of the video. If you found it helpful or useful, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button, as we're covering all major movie and television news right here on Cosmic Culture.